Hello and welcome to Music Made Simple. Lesson 6. Note names on the staff. In Lesson 5, we learned about a device known as the staff, which has 5 lines and 4 spaces on which notes are written to represent the pitches of sound. Today, we will learn how to give names to these lines and spaces. Kindly revisit the watching of Lesson 5, or if you have not watched it at all, please watch it so that you can follow this lesson very well. Musical notes have their own names depending on their shape and other things, and the names indicate their duration. This will be covered in a future lesson. However, when notes are written on the staff, they take on the name of the line or space on which they are written. These lines and spaces on the staff are named after the first 7 letters of the English alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. When one letter name is given to a line or space, the next space or line acquires the next letter name. For example, if the first line of a staff is given the name A, the first space will become B, the second line C, the second space D, the third line E, the third space F, and the fourth line will become G. After G, the names are repeated from A. That means the next space, which happens to be the 4th space, will become A. And finally, the 5th line will become B. Of course, the first line does not have to be A. It can be D, for instance. But when the first line is D, then the first space will be E. The second line will be F. Second space will be G. And now we have to start from A again for the third line, making the third space B, the fourth line C, the fourth space D, and the 5th line E. This process is reversed when you are coming down the staff. This means that if the 5th line is E, the 4th space right under it will become D, the 4th line will be C, the 3rd space will be B, the 3rd line will be A, and now we have to go back to G for the 2nd space, F for the 2nd line, E for the 1st space, and D for the 1st line. Let's talk about what is known as the octave. As you have just seen, when pitch rises or falls, note names are repeated. For example, there are high A's and low A's. The distance between 2 A's or 2 G's or any 2 alphabets of the same name is called an octave. If you count the notes between one A and another, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then A, you will find that the higher A is the 8th note from the first A. An octave is the 8th note, higher or lower, to a given note, and it always has the same letter name. Usually when men and women sing the same pitch, they often sing in octaves. When one pitch is an octave above the other, the higher pitch is said to be in a higher register, while the lower pitch is in a lower register. In this lesson, we have learned how to derive names for the lines and spaces of the staff. And even though these names are not permanent, we can get the name of the following or preceding line or space once we know the name of the present line or space. Next lesson, we are going to learn how to give permanent names to the lines and spaces of the staff. All right. Go ahead and do the exercise that is shown here. If the first line of a staff is named B, what will be the name of the second line, the fourth line, the first space, the third space, and the fifth space? To be able to get this question right, you will need to draw a 5-line staff and put the first line to be B. Then you name all the other lines and spaces. Then you'll be able to get the answer. That's it for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe by clicking the red button below the video in case you have not done so that you can continue to get updates of new videos as they come out. And also, if you have enjoyed this lesson, please click like. Until next time, God bless you.